50% of women who take time off to raise families are unable to re-enter the workforce. And our next guest is here with strategies and side hustles that will help change that. Please welcome back to our home work-life balance expert, Samantha Ettus. Welcome back.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So I think it's important to say off the top that stay-at-home moms are superheroes.
Sure.
And if that's what somebody at home or anybody decides to do, be a stay-at-home mom, I think that's so commendable and amazing. It's the hardest job on the planet, but some people want to go back to work and some people need to.
Most people need to, right? Because most of us are not in a financial situation where we can't keep earning money.
Sure.
Right. And you have some strategies for those women who want to get back into the workforce. What are they?
Well, one of the things is if you do leave to be home with your kids for a year, for 6 months, for 8 years, you don't want to be the mom who, when someone says, "What do?" you say, "Oh, I'm home with the kids," because you're erasing your entire professional background. So you're better off saying, "I was teaching for 6 years and now I'm home for a little while," or "I was in marketing and now I'm doing this." So you want to give a more three-dimensional picture of all the things you've done, not just what you're doing today.
Right.
That's right.
Be proud of those things.
Exactly.
You hard.
Exactly. You're not just this one-dimensional creature just because we have kids. You know what I mean? There are a lot of things we did before our children came into play, and we should continue to do them if we want to.
Absolutely.
You know?
And you are a really a dynamic person who's done all these things, and that all leads you to who you are today. So might as well include them. The other thing is when we leave, sometimes we forget to keep our networks warm. So if you've been working with colleagues for years, you don't want to just shut the door and not keep in touch. You want to make sure you find reasons to keep in touch other than just baby pictures, right? So you want to send them an article that reminded you of them and keep up on your industry, because industries change so fast now. So it's really important that even if you're out of the workforce, you're still reading up on it and you're keeping current.
Yeah, I mean, that's important for you mentally. Not just to try to keep your network going, but just for you to say, I have, all these other interests as well, and I'm interested in other things. Now, when these women if they choose to get back into the workforce, a lot of times they're faced with a lot of challenges that, maybe they didn't foresee.
Yes. And a lot of women need flexibility because maybe they have a partner who's working more than full time and there isn't that balance at home. And one of the things that I always recommend is try to keep your relationship a little bit balanced. Because one of the things is that if you get into a very traditional role where your spouse is doing all the breadwinning and you're doing all the homemaking, then when you do need time to go back to work or whatever it is that you're doing during the day, even if it's just a few hours, you want to make sure that your partner is used to knowing how to do the pickups and drop-offs and doctor's appointments. So you want to make sure that there's some egalitarian relationship going on before you choose to go back to work, or else it's hard to just make that switch right away.
Yes,
absolutely. That makes a lot of sense.
More difficult.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Not everybody has to jump full on in and go back full time, because that's not feasible for some people because they don't have childcare. So they need to sort of sometimes have a side hustle to get by. So what are some of the things they can do?
Well, there are now so many options because of the internet, which is really exciting. So I started a company recently called Park Place Payments, which allows women to go back to work from home and sell to the businesses they already frequent. So they're selling credit card processing to their hair salon, their dentist, their chiropractor, all of their neighborhood businesses. And they're doing it on their time. They can work 4 hours a week or 40, whatever they want, and it's all recurring revenue.
That's wonderful.
And then they also build their resume because they were an account executive at a financial services firm. I'm sure you have friends who have sold makeup or skincare or clothing to their friends. I like the idea that you're not necessarily selling to your friends and impacting your friendships that way. You're just focusing on selling to businesses. Other things, like let's say you love walking dogs, you can do wag.com between pickup and drop off and earn extra money that way. And you can, start walking dogs, and that's great exercise, and you're making a little pocket change. There's other companies, like there's a company called Pixie Lane, which allows you to have parties at your house where you're selling children's clothing. So there's so many opportunities like this, and it's just a matter of figuring out what your financial goals are and which company is going to get you there. And then a lot of women do want to return to corporate America. So which of these opportunities is going to look good on a resume and help you get back there and kind of address the fact that those gaps don't look that great on a resume. And we always like to say, oh, well, hire a mom, they know how to do all these things, and it's true. But you can also understand from an employer's perspective, why if they get a resume of someone who was working yesterday, it's more appealing for them than someone who hasn't worked in 10 years.
Right.
So you want to address that rather than forcing them to address it. And so, you know, even volunteering to help, if you used to be a publicist, help a friend with a PR campaign for something they're doing, even if it's not really paid right now, just because you want to get back there and build that resume back.
And you take the power back into your hands, so it's not an uncomfortable conversation.
Right.
You know, you say, well, this is, you know, I have been raising my family, and I've also been doing all these other things, by the way, you know, so then it becomes, you're right.
Yeah,
then
they
you're the
think
one in
of you
charge.
as that formerly professional person.
Correct.
And you do have all these skills, and they should know about them. And part of it, the issue a lot of moms are worried about is that when they go back to work, they're worried that their kids are going to give them a hard time. But I like you at home. And so one of the best things you can do is talk about your career in a proud way. You can be the mom that leaves the house and is like, I'm so sorry I have to go to work. Or you can say, guess what I get to do today? I get to sit on the couch with Allie and talk to all these interesting people. And you're going to tell me about your day. And we're both going to get to download at the end of the day. So it's all about how you frame it.
So if you're going to have that side hustle, that very important side hustle that you talk about, probably one of the most important things is to know your strengths. Because know what you're good at, so when you do have that side hustle, you can shine, right?
Yeah, so you might know that you're really organized, or like in the case of Park Place, we love women who are comfortable having conversations with anyone. Because in sales, that really helps. It doesn't matter what you're selling. If you can talk to people, you can sell something, right? And similarly, like know yourself. If you're really good at helping people and you're a great cook, then you might want to do personal chef stuff, which you can also find online. There's so many things, it's just a matter of knowing what you're good at. Although I will say that sometimes when you've been a mom and just focused on momming for so long, it's easy to forget what you're good at. In that case, I recommend getting your favorite people together and having a bragging dinner and say, I forgot what I'm good at. Can we just have dinner? I will cook, or we'll go out. And you'll just tell me how you think of me, because sometimes we don't, and we'll do the same for you.
I love that so much. Well, I feel like what a lot of our viewers would be good at is like arts and crafts, so maybe selling things on Etsy. I've seen what the viewer mail when they send in their stuff, how good it is. So that could be a side hustle too.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. This is all such great information. And for more information from Samantha, visit parkplacepayments.com.